Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Now this one is more of an audio video, not a visual one. So if you guys want to do something else while you're listening to me, if you're even interested in this type of video, feel free to do so. I do want to say though that before I get into the video that the I Am Tired shirts and hoodies are available for about 7 more days, a little bit less, well, a little bit less by the time this video is up, or around less, about 7 days by the time this video is up. If you guys want to pick one up, the link will be down below in the description. And yeah, so if you guys didn't know, I am part of the Smogon Premier League. What that is basically a draft league format where players are in an auction and they are bought to play on a specific team. And you know, what better way to show you than to actually like show you the Smogon. Basically, this is this year's lineup. ORS-OU, 2 ORS-OU players, ORS-UU, ORS-RU, ORS-NU, ORS doubles, ORS Little Cup. There's no Ubers this year. Black and White OU, DPP OU, ADV OU, GSC OU, and then best of 3 RBY OU. Basically, there are managers and there are captains, and they are, or they're managers and they're assistant managers, and they are meant to draft a team, and then for X amount of weeks you're going to play, and then you make it to playoffs if you win X amount of weeks. So there are 9 weeks in regular season, I believe, and then weeks 10 to 11 are playoffs. And yeah, so I'm in this. I'm part of the Wi-Fi Wolfpack. No, that's not a shot at Verlicify or anything like that. So if you're going to say that, there's no point. There's nothing to do with him at all. And like I said, I am part of the Wi-Fi Wolfpack. This is actually my 3rd year playing for them. So I'm a retain. What a retain is basically someone that has played before and they have paid a certain amount of money. That way they can 100% be other team, as opposed to them being in the auction and you know, trying to play the auction and trying to draft them once again. So I'm part of the Wi-Fi Wolfpack. This is my 3rd year playing for them, and this will be a breakdown video of my team, just so you guys can better understand who are the players that I'll be playing with. And also the reason I'm doing this, I touched on it on one of my recent videos, and I said that it's because I want to be uploading not only my games from the Smogon Premier League. I've actually done that for 2 years, I believe. I've done that for 2 years. I've uploaded my games for the Smogon Premier League, but I also want to upload some of my teammates' games, especially if they're good or interesting. So I thought that would be cool, because this will give you guys who want to get into competitive Pokemon a better look at the actual competitive side of Pokemon. And well, I say that with quotes because also there's VGC, but I also intend to participate in VGC, the 2016 format, so you guys will be seeing that anyway. But like I said, I'm part of the Wi-Fi Wolfpack, and the manager of the Wi-Fi Wolfpack is my boy Nails. Nails is a person who has a lot of experience when it comes to tournaments. He has been basically a part of Team East for a while. He is Team East is part of my World Cup team. So he lives on the eastern side of America. And Pearl as well has tourney experience as well from, I think he also played at SBL, as well as, I'm not sure if Pearl actually played in World Cup, but those are my managers, and Pearl is the assistant manager, Nails is the actual manager. I do apologize, a lot of this stuff will be opinionated, some of it will be fact, like what they did, what they achieved. But I also don't 100% know all of my teammates just yet, since we just became teammates yesterday on the 20th. It's the 21st today. So I trust Nails. Nails is a really good friend of mine. I've been on the same team with him when it comes to the Wi-Fi Wolfpack. He was part of it. He played RU last year. He did pretty well. Got some wins, if I'm not mistaken, at least 1 or 2 wins for us. I think he played a couple games. He's also someone who is very, very dependable. He makes threads. He will help you test in lower tiers and stuff like that, as well as ADV OU, so older gen as well. And Pearl as well can help with RU, UU, things like that. I know Pearl has a lot of experience in that. So going on to the players, because they are just the people that manage. These are the actual players right here that will be playing. As I said before, there's X amount of slots, so not everyone will be playing. There will be subs, and I don't exactly know what's going to be going on, because we'll find that out every single week on the forums when they post, as well as when we discuss with our team. And I can't give away all our secrets, not that I know any of our secrets, but anyway, I'll go over who I am, I guess, since you guys know who I am, but I'll go over that last. But our first retain for this year Besides, well, one of our first retains this year, we actually got 3 retains. So we paid a certain amount that way we could get this player to play on our team. Is Lavos Spawn. Lavos is, I want to say the blunder of GSC or Gen 2 OU. Lavos is a pretty young player, but he has shown a lot of promise in GSC OU. There's a joke going around on Smogon that if Lavos doesn't get banned within the first couple of weeks, he can do really well in GSC. And there'll actually be a power ranking going up soon. I'm pretty sure Ray Scarface will be working on one since he always makes one every year. But Lavos is a pretty good GSC OU player. He's really good with testing since he also has experience with DPP OU, Black and White OU, and all the older gens. So Lavos is just a very handy person to have, and I think the Wolfpack retained him because we wanted a solid GSC player and someone who could just help out. Next, our other retained besides me is PDC. PDC is someone who has shown a lot of promise in OU lately. He has won a lot of the... he has made it to... the Smogon Tours, I think semifinals if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he was on. He was also on my team on East last year, and he won a lot of games last year in World Cup, as well as got a trophy for World Cup. So East won World Cup this last year, I guess 2015, if you want to consider that last year, since it is the end of the year. But PDC is a pretty good OU player. He can also play Black and White OU, and I believe he plays a bit of DVP OU as well at a decently high level. Again, he's more than likely going to be one of the OU slots for the Wi-Fi Wolfpack. I could definitely, let's say Puffpack? Wi-Fi Wolfpack, sorry. I could definitely see him being in one of those slots, any one of those slots, since PDC is mainly an OU player. He's also a young player as well, but that doesn't mean anything. I just wanted to say that. I just like taking jabs at blunder. But PDC, I could definitely see him being one of our top OU players on the team. Next up, we have Buffalo. Buff is a person who does have experience in SPL. He played RU last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think that experience is definitely going to help him because last year he had a little bit of a habit of choking away a victory when he definitely had it. So he's a strong player, but like last year he was a strong player in the beginning of a game and towards the middle, and then he would throw away the game after. And this is not a shot at him. I'm just talking about from what I experienced. He wasn't on the Wi-Fi Wolfpack last year. Part of the reason I'm saying this is because Nails actually played him in RU, and Buff choked away the end game, which is awesome. Nails played that game pretty well anyway. And but Buff is definitely a lower tier person. He plays UU, RU. I think he even plays a little bit of NU. And I could definitely see him as someone who has improved from last year just based on that tour experience. I'm not sure if last year was actually one of his first tournaments. I don't want to say I didn't hear of him until last year, so because I was part of the UU forums, so I can't really say that. Again, like a lot of this stuff is opinionated. Some of it might be wrong. Feel free to disagree. This is just me breaking down my team. But Buff, I really do expect him to do well wherever he is this year, just based on that prior experience in tournaments. Since it's a little bit hard, just when you're laddering on the ladder, it's different when being in a tournament. In this tournament, it doesn't even matter. Let's say I win, Lavos wins, PDC wins our games. That doesn't even matter. We need, I think, 6 or 7 wins a week in order to actually win the week. So it doesn't even matter if one of us wins. The entire team or most of the team has to win in order for us to do well. And it's a lot harder. There's a lot of pressure when you're playing not just for yourself but for your team. Well, people say that anyway. I don't know. I'm not one person who succumbs to pressure, but Buff is definitely someone who I could see, or who I do see improving this year and performing reasonably well. Bravieris is the next person. I love Zach. Bravieris is an awesome person. He plays VGC. He's really good at VGC, and he'll be playing doubles OU for us most likely. Doubles OU. We don't have VGC in SPL anymore. I think we used to have it back in the day. Pretty sure Cybertron used to play it too, or played it once or twice back in the day. For SPL, but Bravieris is a really good VGC player, as well as a very good and respected doubles OU player. I'm really happy to have him on the team, not just because he's my friend, because he's my friend, but also because he is someone that that I feel that I could practice with a lot, not only with VGC, not only with doubles, but also with VGC. I love the SPL experience because it puts you in a place where you don't have to just play one single tier. Like, this is going to give me a lot of experience in a lot of gens I love. Like, I love the older gens. For example, today, before I even recorded this video, or even started recording this video, I played maybe like 10, 15 DVP OU games. That's not something I could do on a regular basis because it's not a dead gen, but it's a gen that a lot of people don't play as much. But Barry Harris is a very, very strong doubles OU player, and I'm really excited to have him on the team. He usually performs well, and yeah, I just could see him doing extremely well. So another friend of mine that we have on the team, my boy Mfuga. Mfuga is a really, really good, or I would say a really good lower tier player. When I say lower tier, I mean UUNU, but he also has been recently doing really well in OU. Looking at the official ladder tour as well as just in general, I've watched him play for Smogon tours, just Smogon tours individually, not like the actual playoffs and stuff like that. But I've seen him just wreck people with Cobalion, Porygons, in whatever tier. So I'm pretty sure if there's a tier where you can use any form of Porygon, Mfuga can do well. Mfuga did really well in, I believe, NUPL as well as RUPL. And though last year was his first time being in the Smogon Premier League, I believe, and he didn't do too well, I really think that experience really helped a lot. And Ryan is someone that I know will be trustworthy to test with, good with building, even though I don't want to say he has a very linear way of building, because he just likes to use choice specs mods, choice band mods. He hates choice scarf mods and things like that. He loves certain sets, Cobalion, he loves Porygon and stuff like that. But I really feel like with the help of the people that we have in the lower tier, Ryan will do really, really well, especially because he's on my team. And he's just a good friend of mine. He's someone that I worked with when I made Grand Slam playoffs, as well as just he helped me in all the UU Opens, RU Opens, NU Opens. He helped me build, he helped me test, and I'm really grateful to have him on the team. He's someone that I do expect to do well, or will see do well, and help them improve as well. And I'm pretty sure he'll help me improve in the lower tiers as well. But Stathicus is the next player that we do have on the team. And right now, if you actually look at our team, it looks like we just have US East plus US West combined with a little bit of the Afrabs if you count Mfuga. Though technically Mfuga does live in Jersey, which I guess is Metro, but I would still consider that US East. But in any case, Staff is the next member that we have on the team. Staff is a good friend of mine. He was on US East. He did really well in RSOU. I do expect him to... I'm not actually sure what he'll be playing this year, because I could definitely see him playing DPOU as well as RSOU, just swapping in between. And he's a person who has done really well in the past. Like, I believe he was like an old legend or something. He was a vet. He is a vet, but he was a really good player back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. And he has been doing well recently. He did really well in World Cup, and I do expect him to more likely playing DVPOU. Looking at the team, we do have a few people that can sub into DVPOU, but I do expect them to be playing DVPOU, maybe RSOU, swapping between PDC, myself, and a few other players as we'll be going over them. But Staff, I believe, is a really good person to test with, and I can definitely see him doing... I don't want to be saying I can definitely see everybody doing well, but I feel that every single person on the team brings something to the team. I obviously didn't draft the team. We actually have 50 million players on this team. This is a lot of players. I think we have like 19. What is this? Something like 19? I don't feel like counting at the top of my head. I don't feel like counting anyway. But, okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, we have 19 players. Wow. That is a lot. That's a lot. The past 2 years, we have never had that many players on our team. Actually, Hugo was the manager of the team last year alongside Blue. Good times. Rest in peace, guys. But... Staff is someone that I work well with, and he's very good for testing, and I'm extremely excited to be playing with him. Next person, another member of the US East, that's just Peachy. She is a very, very, very competent black and white OU player. She is extremely good. She has come through for US East a bunch of times in the past, and even though black and white has technically changed just a little bit, because, well, not a little bit, I wouldn't say a little, but a lot, I guess you could say, just because of the extra drill, Mold Breaker extra drill now being allowed, as well as the ban on Sun. I think it can only make her better, especially because she wasn't really one to run Sun. She ran, yo, that's a mouthful, but she ran a lot of black and white sand and stuff like that. So I could definitely see her just improving. And Peachy was actually somebody that I didn't get along with my first time with the US East, but over time we actually started to get along with each other. It's because she called us all gorillas because we're men, and I just got pissed. But that's in the past anyway. That's in the past. Peachy is a very solid black and white OU player and very good for our lineup. Next up we have Mambo, someone I don't personally know. I actually just played a few games, I believe, with him, or I was just talking with him a little bit. Mambo is a Little Cup mod. I know that he's a Little Cup mod on Smogon. I know he's a Little Cup player, pretty solid Little Cup player, as well as an RBY OU player. And obviously, people think that RBY OU is a lot of luck. That's, well, there is, you know, a huge aspect of luck, obviously, but if you're solid in RBY OU, it's for a reason. And Mambo alongside Orthior, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, are both pretty solid RBY players. Same thing with Fap King. Fap King is also a really solid RBY player alongside Little Cup. So they're both 2-3 really solid RBY players that we'll have, and we'll be able to rotate in between. Maybe you'll see them playing Little Cup, maybe you'll see them playing RBY. Like I said, we'll be able to rotate, and I'm happy to have all of them on board the team. Sakata is someone who has he went 4-0 in the Smogon World Cup in ORSOU, if I'm not mistaken, so that's pretty good, pretty solid, definitely, as well as he made it to, I think, playoffs of Smogon Tour, if I'm not mistaken, so he's definitely a pretty solid ORSOU player. I believe he also plays black and white OU as well as DPOU at a reasonably high level, so definitely someone I could see, again, swapping between staff, between myself and PDC, maybe even Peachy if Peachy needs some cover. Flame Victini, he's a friend of mine, and he's a pretty solid builder. He likes to have unique builds, so that's really good for the team, especially with someone that needs a lot of testing, and building isn't exactly a lot of our strong suits, not always. I think anybody can build as long as they're not lazy, but you know, a lot of us are lazy. So Flame Victini can definitely bring a lot with that, with testing as well as building. He also plays RU, if I'm not mistaken, as well as RSOU, so again, another person that could be swapping between Ufuga and Buff. And yeah, definitely a good, you know, asset to the team. I don't think anybody here is like bad for the team. Like, worst case scenario, Lavos is cancer, and we just tell him to shut up, and he's not cancer. I mean, I've been like, I personally, I was friends with Lavos back in the day, and then I started not liking him, and then like I'm getting used to him again because he's not terrible. He's not a terrible person. We just had a little dispute back in the day. But I really think a lot of people on our team are just we're gonna be a good team, or a solid team, at least team wise. I don't know performance wise just yet. We obviously have to see. But Undisputed, a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, a very solid ADV OU player, and more than likely our go-to ADV OU guy. We do have a few people that can play ADV OU on the team, like Bomber 92. I can play a little bit of ADV OU. I'm pretty sure Bada Bing could probably fill in for ADV OU as well if we need it. But we do have a few ADV OU players running around the team. But Undisputed would probably be our go-to ADV OU player. Really solid player from back in the day. Really old friend of mine too. My first SBL I actually played on the Bigs. I played for the Wi-Fi Wolfpack this is going on my third year for them. But right before that, before X and Y came out, I played for the Bigs. I only got to play 2 games, and I actually went 0-2. It wasn't one game. I just got completely destroyed. The other game, I got pretty much like a little bit lucked, but there was not much I could do. That was my first tour, and Undy was one of the only person on the Bigs that I actually ever spoke to. Though shout out to Tanner as well, who got me on the Bigs, and Funkasaurus, of course. But Undy was one of the players that I spoke to the most. I used to test with him. I used to play with him, ADV as well as you know, black and white OU all the time, and he's a player that I really do respect, and I'm excited to have him on the team as well. I love ADV OU. I actually love ADV OU DBOU is 100% my favorite, and I really hope that I get to play a little bit of it this season. But Andy is definitely someone I might just be covering when I record people, and I do expect him to do reasonably well this season. Shake off that rust as well. So Bomber 92, someone I actually played with back in PLCL. He's a really respectable RBY OU player as well as GSC OU player, and he can even play ADV OU. He's done really well in all of those in the past, and he's just a good teammate, always willing to test. I remember for PLCL, he would just come on and be like, "I won, guys, I won." And we'd just be like, "Good job." Like, he'd be our mandatory, sorry about my landline by the way, but he'd be like our win that we knew would just happen, and he would just come on and say, "Yeah, I won, guys." So definitely excited to be playing with him in the Smogon format, as well as just in general. And I do, like I said, I do apologize because I don't even know why we have a landline. There's like 2 people downstairs, but nobody picks it up because nobody likes house phones. This is why we all have cell phones. Anyway, Bada Bing, next player on our team. Bada Bing is a really solid. I know he was a really solid XY OU player. Also, he's a lot like me in a sense that he could just be tossed into any tier and just perform well if he's given a chance to team build and test. He's a lot like that. He can play. I know last year he swapped between UU a lot. He did pretty well in UU and SPL. Him and Ufuga actually have a little bit of a thing going on, but I'm pretty sure he'll be fine right now. Like just like me and Lavos didn't really communicate with each other too well. Him and Ufuga didn't have that, but I'm pretty sure they'll be fine now. And he's just a player that could just be swapped at any tier. I don't know if he'll be a sub. I don't know if he'll be a starter, but I know that he could just, if anybody needs cover, he could definitely do that. He'll be great for testing, especially because he has a bunch of teams. So Afro Smash, my boy Allen. I already touched upon him and him and him. So Afro Smash, my boy Allen. Really good RU player. He mains RU. He can also play UU at a reasonably high level, as well as NU. I know he just also plays a really good Samus. And a pretty decent Rob, though he's nothing to my little Mac back in the day. Let me flex on him real quick. But Allen is a really solid RU player. He also has specific patterns, kind of like Ufuga, that he likes to use, but Allen just wins, like, no matter what. I remember back in Black and White OU, or Black and White RU, he used to use Cryogonal all the time. He used to use stuff like that, and like in X and Y UU, he loved Heliolisk. Same thing with RU when Heliolisk was actually RU. He loved using that. He loves Empoleon. He's actually infamous for being flinched to death by my Jirachi all the time. I'm like Alan's kryptonite. Alan and I were really good friends, and we always got paired up in Grand Slam and any tournament, and I would always luck him. In certain things. But he's a really good player, and really good for testing, really good. He just hops on, he also just gets wins. But yeah, Alan is just a really solid player, and I know it just sounds like I'm excited to play with everybody, but I really am. SPL is my favorite tour of all time. It's my favorite tour on Smogon of all time. I just love playing with a team. I also love I get the experience in the lower tiers or any gen that I just don't get to play too often. But yeah, Afro Smash is definitely someone I can see playing RU for us, maybe NU, maybe UU. He could just swap between those. Laurel, another person who has actually played on the Wi-Fi Wolfpack before. Laurel is an excellent tester. He's extremely like into helping everybody perform well. He's actually gotten a couple, I think he got a win or two for the Wi-Fi Wolfpack. I think he played like 2 or 3 times. I think he went like 2 or 1, maybe he went 1 or 1 or something like that. But Laurel is a player who will test his heart out. He will help you test. He will help you build. He is extremely dependable in that aspect, and I think that's extremely important for team tournaments. Who cares if we have a player that can get a win, but he doesn't do anything else for the team, but then you have a player who can help 3 other people win? I think that's invaluable when it comes to a team tour, and Laurel is definitely one of those players. And we also have Sugar High, otherwise known as the Jam Bad Slayer, if I am not mistaken. That's my boy, Sugar High. Pretty solid ORS-OU player. Actually, is Sugar High a girl? No offense, I'm sorry if you're a girl. You know, it's the internet, it's hard to say just by names. Actually, not sure. But I know that Sugar High Crush can, man. That's the important part. So definitely somebody I can see they'd be swapping between the OUs. And yeah, I think that's basically my team. I didn't go over myself. I'm actually not sure what I'll be playing for the Wi-Fi Wolfpack this year. In previous years, I would swap between tiers. I remember 2 years ago, I actually played, I think, a total of 4 different tiers. I played ORS OU, ORS Ubers. I think I played ORS Little Cup. Maybe it was 3 different tiers. But, or 3 different gens. I'm not entirely sure. But for me, I'm pretty sure that I'll be playing OU at least once or twice, a couple times. But then I can always swap between DP, OU. I can swap. I mean, I love, you guys know I love DP, OU. But I can swap between whatever my team needs to be. I guess I'm like, myself, Bada Bing, and a few other players on the team are just like the players that will help people test, as well as can be put in any tier if we want. If someone can't play that week, or if we want to change it up or have a different matchup versus other people, I'm pretty sure they'll put me in, they'll put Bada Bing in. I guess I could be starting in ORS OU alongside PDC, since I'm an okay ORS OU player, I suppose. I don't know. I played ORS Ubers last year. The year before, I played ORS OU into ORS Ubers. But I'm the cover player. I'm the player that helps people test, as well as just play in whatever spot that my team needs me to play. So that's how I usually am when it comes to team tours. So they can switch me between any tiers. I can even be a sub one week and let someone else play. I am a retain, though, for the Wi-Fi Wolfpack, so I'm glad they trust me and bought me again. And yeah, I think that's basically it for the breakdown. I'm not entirely sure what else there is to say. If you guys have any questions, comments, you guys can leave them down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.